Hey guys, King6 here and back with another video. In this video I'll be showcasing a speedpaint I did for the one and only copy ninja Kakashi Hatake. In this video I'll go over the process and my personal thoughts on Kakashi Hatake as a character. So before I was able to create the sketch that you're seeing right now in this video, I had a failed sketch. I did completely finish the sketch, but after looking at the sketch I realized it was completely trash, so I made a second one. This is that second one you guys are seeing. If you want to see the first sketch, I posted it on my Discord server. I am not going to show you guys the sketch here for obvious reasons. So the main focus for this was showcasing Kakashi's sword that he got from his father, Sakamo Hatake, the White Fang. The lightning was an optional bonus, but that's what I had in mind. Those are the personal rules I set in place in order to be more creative, because surprisingly, when it comes to creativity, the more rules you set, or the more rules that you have to follow, the more creative you can be. I don't understand the exact reasoning behind it, but I think basically, since you're set to set rules, there's multiple different interpretations, so you have to think about the rules and how many different ways you can interpret the idea and all the constrictions so that you're following the rules but you're still creating something that's you. So anyways, I came up with this idea, a lightning sword. Given the perspective, there's no telling from the audience whether I drew Kakashi before or after taking away to Sharingan, because you only see the right side of his face. For those of you who know, Kakashi got Obito's left eye, not his right. And in this perspective, you're only seeing Kakashi's right side. Hypothetically, if I flipped it horizontally, you could say that's showcasing his left side, and then you could say then it's him before the Sharingan. But I'll let you guys decide whether you believe this is before or after. Realistically, it will probably be after though, because Kakashi learns after his first time using the Chidori that basically his body moves so fast that his eyes can't perceive what's going on, which is why he needs the Sharingan to use it, and which is why in Boruto, Sasuke and Sarada are the only ones who can use Chidori, because the Sharingan is a requirement to complete the jutsu. Now we're moving on to the final drawing. I initially tried a forest background, but it wasn't working out, and since then I did some practice with just some base colors to work on my ability to create a believable forest. I believe I was able to pull it off, and I also felt like a forest for what I was trying to do would just be too busy of a background and would distract from Kakashi. So, because I wanted him to be center of attention, so just like any other drawing that I create, so I decided on a completely different background. So the concept I came up with, the basic concept is Kakashi is using his sword infused with his lightning chakra to break into an enemy hideout to take them out. So I created some wood that Kakashi cut up with his lightning sword. I used a combination of line art throughout for the wood in order for the texture, and I used a variety of colors. I wanted everything to be dark, so that way the lightning would stand out more. So I used a color layer on the wood to make it a lot darker and just a lot less saturated. And I made a copy of the wood just in case I didn't like what I was doing with the colors, but in this case it wasn't necessary. From that point on, it was clear as day. For the lightning, I painted the globe myself. In the center it's more white. On the outer edges I used an airbrush to paint the outer globe. I learned how to do this glow by gel arts. You can use screen and add layers to do glow, but I prefer to just do it without the layers, so I don't have to use the layers as a crutch to add these effects. But yeah, if I wanted to emphasize, then I'd probably use an add layer. I selected the line art and used it to delete parts of the lightning, so that way the lightning wouldn't be touching the line art and wouldn't be overlaying there. It creates the same effect as I did for the Sarada piece, if you guys remember that. I feel like looking back, I should have done the lightning more similarly to how I did it for the Sarada piece in comparison to this. In comparison, I think this lightning is just a lot more dull and just more boring, and the one I did for Sarada was just a lot more vibrant and fun. Sarada and Buntan. After Kakashi was done, I made sure to add glow to the wood. Like with Kakashi, there's a small glow, and then there's a rim glow to emphasize the light that's coming from the lightning. While you guys are seeing this Kakashi Speedpaint, I will be talking about Kakashi's character. So he's similar to both Sasuke and Naruto, had his loved ones die, his father's dead body in front of him as he committed suicide, I'm not going to explain the story of his father's suicide. If any of you guys are fans of Naruto, you should at least know that story. So he's able to understand the pain of both Naruto and Sasuke. Don't know what happened to his mother because it's never explained. Obviously, she died before Sakamoto did, but Kakashi's felt that same loneliness, which is why he can relate to Sasuke and Naruto. Rin sacrificed herself in front of Kakashi because she had the three tails inside. We all know this was obviously orchestrated by Madara. She was supposed to die. Not necessarily by Kakashi, but she was supposed to die. And he was born with natural talent like Sasuke and Itachi. I'd say just way more though, because he is still the youngest Leaf Shinobi to ever become a Chunin, and that was at 6 years old. And just for reference, talking about Itachi, for example, Itachi graduated the academy at 7. So obviously this means he became a Chunin after 7 years old. That's assuming he went from Genin to Chunin to Jonin, and then he went to Anbu. He could have gone straight from Genin to being a member of the Anbu under Kakashi squad, and then becoming an Anbu captain at 13. And we don't really know when Kakashi became an Anbu captain. So as far as I'm concerned, Itachi's the youngest, because Kakashi's age when he becomes a member of the Anbu, at least from what I recall, isn't ever stated. And one thing about Kakashi is he has a very complex past. There's a lot of things to go over. I think the most wholesome thing to go over and the most fun part is his rivalry with Guy. At first, he saw Guy as trash because Kakashi was beating him at everything. At Taijutsu, initially that was the one thing that Guy had on Kakashi, but Kakashi was still better. Guy was just made a competition, shuriken throwing and everything else. They just weren't as good. In the past, Sakamoto told Kakashi that Guy would be his rival. I think that's part of the reason why Kakashi showed him that respect, and I'm glad that Sakamoto taught Kakashi that, because I think Kakashi would have remained kind of an arrogant jerk without that guidance. So through that, and just through his battles with Guy, which they're at the end of Shippuden, Kakashi's up 1 because they did the race to the Great Stone Faces, and I don't know what their current rivalry number is in Boruto, but yeah, they're about even, so that would prove that Guy isn't equal to Kakashi, as he says at the start of Naruto. When he introduces himself to Team 7, he tells Team 7 that he's an equal to Kakashi, and Sasuke believes him because based off the way Guy moves. And another major thing is Obito's sacrifice. Obviously, everyone initially thought that Obito was dead. So due to Obito's words, that forever influenced how Kakashi was going to lead his future squads. And the words I'm talking about goes along the lines of, those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon one of their friends are worse than scum. Kakashi says those words to Naruto, Sasuke, and uselessness. And this forever influences the way he leads his teams, and why not a single team outside of Team 7 has ever passed his exam. Team 7 is the only squad he's ever led, because every other group did not follow that rule that he has in place. Because Kakashi values camaraderie over following the rules. So I'm glad Hiruzen didn't contest to Kakashi's ways and didn't stop him from failing everybody and sending him back to the academy. Kakashi's one of the top 20 characters of the series for sure. At some point on Twitter, I was ranking the top 10 characters. I had Shield over Kakashi, and to this day, it's still debatable for me. But for someone who was introduced and then killed off almost instantly via Naruto Shippuden, Chio made quite the impact. Kakashi did make an impact, but I wouldn't say it was as strong as Chio's. Due to all the turmoil and battling Kakashi's experience, he is quite respected in terms of his general wisdom to impart on his students. Example, telling Naruto that he can't really fight Deidara due to him being a long-range fighter. This comes from many battles, in which he's known as the Copy Ninja or Kakashi of the Sharingan. He was even able to come up with a training method specific for Naruto, so that he can quickly create wind-style Rasen Shuriken. A training method that only Naruto can do because Naruto's the only one who can make hundreds of shadow clones and sustain them for a long enough period of time for intensive training. And he's the only one who can handle that cumulative fatigue. He's learned through the things he's seen, and he does his best to push Naruto in the right direction. There's not really much he can do with uselessness. I mean, she's absolutely useless, so there's not really much Kakashi can do, and he tried his best to converse with Sasuke early on, but Sasuke was hell-bent on getting revenge on Itachi. Misplaced revenge, but that was for obvious reasons. Overall, Kakashi is quite the complex character to try to put into words. He's a great example of what experience can do to a man, and he's gone through many bumps to get to where he is now. His progression through Naruto and Naruto Shippuden was a sight to see, and him being more relaxed in Boruto, but still having that ninja instinct is quite something to see. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please be sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, check out my Twitter and Discord, both are in the description. If you want to know what I'm currently doing or thinking about, those two places are the best places to go. I will see you guys next time.